Hi there. Today we're going to be talking about 5 books that can help elevate your wellness in the new year. And so I want to dig in. Most of these are geared towards women, some of them aren't. And I do have a bonus book at the end to share with you that's not particularly health related, but I think it's a really good read. So if you're looking for books to read and educate yourself in the new year about your body and about yourself, then this video is going to be great for you. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to start with a book called Take Charge of Your Fertility. This is going to be for women. It might be a little bit more geared toward fertility, but it's also geared towards women who want to prevent pregnancy using fertility awareness method. And so that's FAM. And what that means is that you're going to track your cycle, you're going to track ovulation signs in order to prevent pregnancy. And some people use that in order to become pregnant as well. But this book was really one of the first books that I read that helped me understand more about my hormones, my cycle, and where I could start to become a little bit more in tune with my body's own rhythm. Next is Dr. Jolene Brighten's Beyond the Pill. And I used this in order to help me understand more about my hormones after hormonal birth control, what can happen in our body, how hormonal birth control can affect our cycle, and other factors, not just our cycle, some of the other parts of our health, like hair growth, healthy hair growth, as well as skin health and digestive health. And so this book goes into some kind of broad areas. It helps you be able to take a little quiz and find out what hormones might be out of balance for you. And I think this is really helpful if you don't have access to a doctor that you can be able to do testing right away. This could be a good primer for someone who is starting to look into their hormonal health. And I found it really helpful in making my own transition, and I think that some of her work is really great. Next is It Didn't Start With You. Now, this book is not exactly health related, but it is connecting some experiences that people might be having with their health with their social and psychological health. And I think that this is a really important book because it can help explain why you might have some chronic illnesses that your family has, why some of those things have run in your family, or how to be able to break that chain of having a certain illness that runs in your family. So I thought this book was really great and helpful. It is a little bit more of a workbook style. So there are questions along the way that can help you be able to figure out some things about your family, about your own health. And so I found it really helpful because of that. Next is When the Body Says No. This is by Dr. Gabor Mate. And again, this is going to be mixing physical health with mental health. And so I really enjoyed this because it talks about how certain illnesses, when they start to develop, the person might have similar coping skills than other people who have that illness. And part of the reason that I think this is really important is because if you're trying to work on a chronic illness or a problem that's going on in your life, knowing how other people in that same kind of category of illness have coped or act can really help with recovery. I've seen this personally. I have personally experienced some of this as well, of seeing how some personalities, when I was working on the phones with people and patients every single day, I saw that there were similar personality traits to certain people with different chronic illnesses. And so knowing that some of that might not necessarily contribute to illness, but it can also be undone, we can relearn coping skills then in order to help our body be able to heal, recover. I think that that's really important. And this book has a lot of major chronic illnesses that it goes through in order to kind of see what the coping mechanism is for people with those types of categories of illness. So he goes over some like MS, breast cancer, autoimmune illnesses, I believe Lou Gehrig's disease. And so he goes through quite a few of them and the patterns that he saw. And for me, it was really reassuring because I started to see this pattern probably about 10 years ago for myself. And it was really reassuring that I wasn't the only one who saw this pattern in people. And so I think that it's really helpful and eye-opening for anyone who's really looking to have a holistic, comprehensive healing in the new year. And the last book before we get into our bonus book is The Body Keeps the Score. Now, this is a book that is focused on traumatic experiences and how we can recover from that in a holistic way, specifically on PTSD. So this could be for people who've experienced a traumatic experience in their childhood, who experienced abuse, who experienced a violent act, or people who may have experienced trauma from going abroad and being in war situations. And so I feel like this book is really comprehensive because sometimes in our modern day, we might not realize some events could have been traumatic to us and how that could affect our whole body health. And so this book really brings together, it is really meaty. So for me, as someone who really likes to dig in and understand all of the details, it was great. He talks about how we can tap into some of the processes in our body that can help us heal our mind. So this is primarily focused on healing some of the mental and emotional struggles that we have in order to then release those and be able to have physical wellness. And so he saw that those two things were tied, and I really enjoy how he goes through so many details of our hormonal health and how those interconnect with our physical health and can either promote health or not. And so I felt like this was really great, definitely very detailed. I do want to provide a little warning. If someone is sensitive to hearing other people's traumatic experiences, this could be a difficult read in some ways, but if you're reading the physical book, you can skip over some of those experiences if you'd like. And last, our bonus book. This is a book that I haven't read for a while, but I really do feel, obviously you can tell a lot of this channel is focused on women's health, primarily menstrual health, and the book, The Red Tent, really helped me understand a little bit more about the history of how menstruation was treated in ancient times and how some of those kind of routines that we had as women are lost in our modern day and might be affecting our ability to socially bond and connect and how that has impacted our lives. And so for me, it is a fictional book, but I do feel like it is helpful in us understanding some of the concepts of why maybe menstruation became a little bit more of a taboo topic, but how it actually might not have been a taboo topic in the past, but we excluded men or the public from those conversations. And so it looked taboo, even though we might have been talking about these things amongst women. And so I really found it kind of encouraging and eye-opening about how other women at different points in life can help encourage each other and speak into each other's lives in really impactful ways. And so I enjoyed this. I thought it was really unique, and I hope you might enjoy it. So those are the 5 books that I have for the coming new year, and I hope that this might be helpful if you're looking for new things to read or ways to add to your kind of health book collection that you're looking to build up your understanding repertoire. If you liked this video and you thought it was helpful, I would love for you to like it, and that really will help other people be able to learn about this information just like you and be able to grow themselves. So I would appreciate that, and I'm sure they would appreciate it as well. And until next time, be well.